Whoa, 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 whoa. What's up, little magicians? Yeah, and just to clarify, I'm using the word magician because everyone who uses Photoshop is a magician. Right. And today we are going to create this magical artwork. Just look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I called it Pink Heaven, and as you can see, it got over 2000 likes. 1/3 of my audience liked it. This is just crazy. I mean, this is so magical. Even Dumbledore would be like, bro. And yeah, Dumbledore talks with bro. Bro, how did you do that? And I would be like, bro, Dumbledore, you need to use Photoshop. And maybe then you can use the eraser tool and erase Voldemort. And just to remind you that no matter if you're already a beginner or a pro Photoshopper, you can always go to learnfromfred.com and there you can access all of my premium classes for free for a whole month. And then it's just $9 per month. You get classes like how to animate your artworks, or cool crazy ideas that you can use for your next artworks, or even how to create Instagram masks, all for free for a whole month. With that said, let's get into our tutorial. So I'm gonna show you this from a screen recording that I did during creating my artworks. I'm just gonna play and pause and explain you everything. Okay, so first of all, of course, we need to import this image, and I will put the download link to the image in the description, and we just import the image. And now of course we need to make the image bigger so there are no empty spaces left on the left and right. Just, you know, make it look really nice, and then just click OK. And also let's do this background layer. We don't need it, it's always there and it's so useless. So the first thing we will need to do, we'll need to get rid of the face. I mean, the face is beautiful, but unfortunately we'll need to get rid of it. And that's why we need to select our image, and then we need to go here down and just click create mask. Boom. So now as you can see, we have here white mask created. And now we need to go and select brush tool. Also we need to make sure that we have here black color selected, and also opacity is 100% and flow is 100%. Okay, also make sure you go here and make sure your hardness is 100%, so your brush is like this, a full circle and not a soft circle. So, and then we can just start deleting the face. And as you can see, you have to make sure that you doing this on the mask, not on the image. As you can see, my mask is selected and I'm drawing on it with black color. So, and if you know how masks work, then it should be pretty easy for you. And now we just delete her beautiful face. We're getting rid of it, unfortunately. So to make this deletion perfect, so we actually need to go and select this pen tool, and if you just click right there, you can choose the curved pen tool, which automatically creates curved lines, so you don't need to curve them automatically. So as you can see how this tool actually works. So not the normal pen tool, but the curved pen tool. Just click right here and you will see it there. And also when you use it, make sure you have here shape selected. Okay, that's very important. And how this actually works, so you just click once and then you click again and then you click again. Boom. And as you can see, a curved line is automatically created. And I just continue clicking. Boom, 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 boom. So if there's something that you don't like, you can just go back and then continue drawing again, just to make sure that the points are located perfectly, and just continue drawing. And as you can see, I'm trying to get really close to the border of her face. And then just to end this, you have to go to the first point that you created and you have to click on the first point, and you will see here this circle, which basically means let's close the shape. So as you can see, boom, now the shape is created. And also if you look here, we will see that we have here a new layer, which is a shape layer. And now what you need to do, you need to go here and click right button on the thumbnail of this layer. So not the name, not here, but exactly on the picture of this layer. Just click right button, boom, and here you have to click select pixels, so you can actually select this shape here. Or what you could also do, a hotkey for that, you could just hold Ctrl and then you can just, or Command if you're using Mac, and then you could just click on the picture. As you can see, when I hold Ctrl or Command, I get near my hand this kind of icon, which basically means I'm going to select this shape. Boom, as you can see, now it is selected. How easy is that? So now we can turn this off. So we just created it in order to create this kind of selection, so we don't actually need the shape. And he's probably going to cry because we just used him and then we throw him away. We're such a bad people. But anyway, we have to create our artwork. What are you doing here? Oh yeah, I totally forgot. You came here so I could tell you subscribe. Subscribe to the channel so you can get weekly cool unique artwork tutorials that you have never seen anywhere else. Please.
What are you waiting for? Why are you still not subscribed?
What was that? Who was that? Anyway guys, I think it's better if you subscribe. Yeah. So yeah, let's now go back to the tutorial. So let's continue. Now you can use the mask and then you can use the brush tool again with the same parameters that we had previous time, so black color, and just you can continue deleting the face. And as you can see, when we have this selection, why did we actually create it? So when we have the selection, when we draw with brush tool, the brush actually doesn't go beyond the selection, so it can only draw inside the selected area, and that's why the area that we erase is going to be perfecto. Just remember, perfecto, okay? I don't know if that's Italian word or I just created it, but who cares? And now when we did that, we just need to get rid of this selection. So you can go to select and then you can go to deselect. Now we need to create a new empty layer, so you just click here for a new empty layer. So why did we create this new empty layer? We're actually going to delete her eyes from here, so we only need to see the skin. And for that we are going to use different tools, but the first one that we are going to use is actually just a spot healing brush tool. And also when you use it, make sure you have here normal and make sure you have type content aware. Then you can just try to delete it. First the eyebrows. We're such monsters. Deleted the face, now deleting the eyes and the eyebrow. As you can see, that didn't work as good as I thought it's going to work, unfortunately. So sometimes you have to try different Photoshop tools, and that's why I go here and I try clone stamp tool, which helps us just to copy, for example, this area and paste it here. That's why it's called clone stamp. And when you select it, just make sure you have here sample all layers selected, and also mode is normal. And here first of all we have to copy this area, so we have to tell Photoshop, okay, copy it from here. And for that you have to hold Alt or Option. So when you hold Alt or Option, you get this kind of icon, which means okay, we are ready to copy. So you hold Alt or Option and then you click here, boom, and now I copied this place and I can just continue drawing here. And again I go copy it from here and I continue drawing here. And you just do it like this. And now when I use that tool as well, I see, okay, now I have to use something else because it's still not perfect. Okay, we want it to be perfect. That's why we go and we use brush tool. And now what I'm gonna do with brush tool, I'm just gonna copy these colors and I'm just gonna go draw here with one color and it's gonna look good. So that's why, as you can see, I just click on this white color, and as you can see my color palette is open, and I can just go and I click on the skin in order to sample the skin color. Boom, as you can see I click here, now the skin color sample, we also can see it here, and I just click OK, and I can just draw with my brush. The only problem is that here I just want to make sure that I don't go beyond this border basically, and that's why I go to this mask here and I click right button on the mask and then I click there add mask to selection. Okay, and when I do that, as you can see, now we have here this kind of selection, and now that means that I cannot draw inside here, I can only draw here. So we go, just make sure you go back to your empty layer and we can just draw, and as you can see it doesn't go beyond the border. That's what we need. And also now I go to my brush and I make hardness 0%. Okay, and now when I did that, also I need to go to opacity and I need to make it a little bit smaller. And why I did that, so I can actually make this border not visible. So now I'm just, if I draw with a soft brush, as you can see, the borders are not that visible. Boom. By border I mean the place where the colors and the skin are getting together. So now I'm gonna choose eraser tool. As you can see, I did select it, and first of all I want to make it smaller, and you can change its parameters going from here. Okay, I'm just using hotkeys, that's why you don't see it, but you can go here and change parameters. So I want to make it real small. I also want to make the hardness 0%. Okay, and also I want to make opacity a little bit smaller, around 19%. And when I did that, I can just go here and I just click, so not really draw, because when you draw really strong, like you delete everything, but I just click, so I delete it very slow so I can make it smooth. Okay, calm down, just make it really soft. I'm using my hands too much probably. So as you can see, I just draw, think, and as you can see it's getting smoothed out. Now I go back to spot healing brush tool and I want to delete some of the places. As you can see, this hair here, we have the black colors. I just want to delete these parts there. So tongue. I also want to delete the hair, as you can see, I mean the hair from the eyebrows. And now I zoom out. As you can see, I still can see that on the face there is something standing out. We still can see this kind of mountain like the face, and then boom, just something goes like that. This mountain here, it looks horrible. I'm still not satisfied. Okay, we need to get rid of that thing. I just choose a brush tool again, and again I choose a different color. I choose the color for hair, and I just draw there. Also make sure that your brush is really smooth, so hardness is 0%, and you can just draw there in order to make it really smooth. Boom, and now finally it looks good, you see? You see? Now it looks much better. Now I'm satisfied. Almost. So now all I need is just to get rid of these parts here that are inside the empty space. We don't need them. And that's I'm just gonna copy this mask, and I'm just gonna paste it on this layer where we actually draw this black color. So that's why we are not gonna see them anymore. And to copy the mask, you just need to hold Alt or Option. So again, you hold them, not just click. You hold Alt or Option, and then just click on this on your layer and drag it up, and only then you release your mouse button, and only then you release Hold or Option. Okay, so now I created a new empty layer, as you can see here, and I'm just bringing it down so I can actually, why I did that, because I want to draw here behind her. So now I need to fill this space with the clouds and also with the background, so it looks realistic, like almost like it's empty there. I'm also gonna use stamp tool again, so I can copy actually this cloud and I can paste it there. And this time it doesn't need to be perfect because we're not gonna see most of it anyway. So just, as you can see, I just copy something from here from the background and I can just paste it there. Boom, good. And now I copy the clouds and I paste a little bit of the clouds. I copy again. I mean, we are gonna have a rainbow going through her face, so we're not gonna see these things, the most of it anyway, so that's why it doesn't need to be perfect, but still it looks nice, it looks pretty good. And I'm gonna create a new empty layer, and this layer I'm gonna use actually for creating a shape here. So we're going to create this shape so it actually looks like the inside part of her head, and for that we're gonna use again the curved pen tool and just click, click, click. And also, as you can see, I changed the fill color to brown, but we are gonna change it later anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And also another thing that you will notice is that even if I click here, I only see the shape behind her face, so I don't see the shape on her face. That's because my shape layer is located below the image. That's why I only see it behind the image. Boom. I mean, this already looks nice, you have to agree. So beautiful. Mwah. I love my artworks. I mean, but also of course, like, it's because the image is actually stunning. Like, if the image would be bad, then my artwork also would be bad. So now I select the shape, and when I have the shape selected, I also have the pen tool selected. I'm gonna see here fill, stroke, and so on. So I'm just clicking on fill, and I have to change the color. And as you can see, I'm using eyedropper tool in order to select the color, and I just selected this place from her skin, and as you can see, this is the new color that we're going to have, and I just click OK, and let's see how it looks. Okay, I don't like it, so I just continue, and I'm just gonna change the color a few times until I really like it. Now I want to add some shading to this shape here. So I mean, for example, as you can see, here is a little bit lighter, here is a little bit darker, and also I want to add some pattern to it. You don't see it right now, but if you get close, you will see that it's like a dotted pattern, which makes it look more realistic, I would say. So you will see it. And for that we have to go to our shape, and there you actually need to click twice on the empty space. So not here, not on the text, not on the picture, but exactly here on the empty space. You just click tang tang double. And as you can see, now we have layer styles opened. Okay, and you can also open actually layer styles if you just click right on your layer, and then you can select their blending options or something like that. So now first of all we need to go to pattern overlay, and as you can see here, I'm gonna select the patterns that I need, and not this one, of course. This is like this one I used for diamonds, but we don't need diamonds inside her head, right? Unless she has been singing all day, shine bright like a diamond. I mean the Rihanna's song, yeah, I guess you know it. So yeah, as you can see, now we select this pattern, which is a pattern that everyone has in Photoshop. It's a built-in pattern. Okay, and also as you can see here, blending mode, I'm gonna change it, and also scale and opacity. So watch out for this. I'm gonna change these parameters, and again scale a little bit smaller. And also another thing to mention that here I have preview turned on. You will see here checkbox on right. As you can see, it's on. it's called preview, and that's why I can actually see everything that I do here. I can see it's changing here, so I can actually see if it looks good or bad. And I just go and choose multiply. No, not let me. I'm just trying out different blending options right now. As you can see, I went with multiply, and I'm just making opacity a little bit down. As you can see, 46%. Trying out different patterns. I also change the pattern, and then I click OK. Now I'm satisfied with that. And as you can see, when we do that, we actually have here effects, and we have pattern overlay here under our shape. And if you want to change it anytime, you can just go here and you can click twice on the pattern overlay. It will open, and then you can change it again. And again, here I just create a new empty layer. And now in order to create the rainbow gradient, I'm gonna use just a rectangle. So you just click right here and choose rectangle tool, and I select it. Boom. And now I go to fill, and also I need to make sure I change to gradient. And then when I choose gradient, I'm gonna choose the rainbow gradient, which is again built in Photoshop, so you can just select it as well. So boom, yeah, that one. And also make sure you go to stroke and you click here so there's no stroke. Okay, and now when we did that, we can just click and drag in order to draw our rectangle. Boom, nice. So now I want to go to edit, and then I want to choose here free transform path. And when we do that, we can actually move it and we can change it. So first of all, I want to bring it a little bit higher, and then also I want to make it a little bit longer. Take and drag. Boom. And then we just need to click OK. Boom. Just click OK. So now what we want to do, we need to convert this into a smart object. And for that, we just go click right and choose convert to smart object. And as you can see, it's not a rectangle anymore. As you can see, the icon here has changed to a smart icon. And now our layer is smart, just like we are. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely genius. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. And now when we did that, I mean, you should also think yourself as a genius, because if you don't think of yourself as a genius, then who is going to think of you as a genius? You're the one who has to think that you're a genius, so you can actually do some great stuff. Just believe in yourself. Some motivational words. And now go jump out of the window. No, don't do that. We have to go to edit and select free transform. And now we just click right on this object here, and then we have to choose perspective. When we do that, this actually helps us to change the perspective of our objects. As you can see, I go here, I can just click and drag it up, boom, and then just click and drag it down, boom, chicka boom. And I just place it, and when we do that, I just click OK. Good job. Come on. Perfecto. And I'm just processing everything that I did. I'm trying to figure out how do I actually make it go through her head. How do you do that? You will see how we can do that. So the first thing we need to do, we need to select our layer, and we need to go here and click create mask. So as you can see, I already did that, and we already have white mask created. Then we need to go to this mask here, and we need to click right, and we need to choose add mask to selection. So as you can see, now we have selected everything except this space that we deleted on her face. So except this empty space, basically everything else is selected. Now we go back to the mask of our rectangle, and we need to make sure we choose brush tool, and also we need to make sure we choose black color. And now we can make sure opacity 100%, and we can start deleting some of the parts. So here we need to be a little bit careful so we don't delete too much. So here it already looks pretty nice, but because I'm crazy, I'm gonna try to make it look better. It's up to you if you wanna try this or not, but I mean, it still looks good, but if you wanna make it even look better, then you can follow the next things. So now we continue. So as you can see, I want to make sure that I see all these little hairs here. The first thing we need to do, we need to get rid of the selection, so that's why we just need to go to select and then choose deselect. So now we're gonna create a copy of this image here, and for that we just can hold Alt or Option, and when you hold Alt or Option, again you see this kind of two icons, black and white arrows, and then you can just click and drag your layer up a little bit in order to create a copy. As you can see, we created a copy, the duplicate. And now we're just gonna delete our mask, so you just click it, you just take it and bring it back to trash bin, and as you can see, it's gone. Now we need to choose quick selection tool, so you just click right and choose quick selection tool. Make sure you have here plus selected, and so as you can see, we just see the image here, we don't see all of our edits. That's because we have the image on the top. And now we just quick selection, we start selecting her head. So basically we want to select the hair, boom, boom. I try to select the hair basically, mostly on the right part. So as you can see, I accidentally selected more. That's why I need to select the minus tool, minus quick selection, and when I select, I can just subtract from our selection. Boom, boom, boom. So I just click, click, click. I just made our selection smaller, and you can of course edit the selection brush. If you guys click here, you can just the normal brush settings, you can edit them. Again, I select plus selection, and I can just continue selecting a little bit more. So now when I did that, I go to select and mask. Okay, so make sure you're on your image and go to select and mask. Boom. And now when we did that, now we can actually make this selection of this hair better, and for that we need to choose the second tool. Second tool helps us to automatically define some, you know, small areas. Like it actually usually works pretty well, but sometimes it doesn't. But sometimes it does. So it's just depending on the mood. You know, sometimes he just has bad days, and sometimes he's drunk and just does whatever he wants. So it's really unpredictable. So also you're probably not going to see it in red, because here you have to go to view. There are different ways to view the selection, and I just advise you to select this view, which is called overlay. And now I can just click and draw on the hair. And as you can see, when I draw on the hair, what's actually happening, if you look here, he's actually deleting the background, but he's leaving the hair. That's why he it's a smart tool. And as you can see, it's deleting the background. So boom, it can automatically define the hair and get rid of the background, and I can just continue drawing. Dum dum dum. As you can see, sometimes it adds the things to selections that we don't want, but we can just get rid of these things later. For example, this line here, we don't actually need it. We can get rid of it later, and you can just draw. And now I just click OK. As you can see, we have our selection with the hair, and for some reason it also added this red thing here. Usually it doesn't do it. Probably I just misclicked something, so it should be like this for you. But in case it did, you can just click Q on your keyboard, which is a hotkey for this red overlay. As you can see, my layer is red right now. You just click Q, and then you click Q again, and then it gets rid of it. Or you can also click here. So here you're going also to see the icon, and now I see only the selection, which was supposed to be from the beginning. Sometimes just Photoshop does whatever it wants. I always tell him don't drink so much, but he's like, no, it's Friday night. Now I select this image, and I can just go and click create mask, and boom, now we have created the mask. And look here. Now as you can see, the border looks much better. We can actually hear the separate hairs. It looks much more realistic. And don't pay attention to this stuff. We're just gonna we're gonna fix that later. So now as you can see, I just turned this off, this layer here, and I need to go to this mask. I need to click right and click add mask to selection. And as you can see, now I've selected this place. So I select the mask, and then I go to this layer here, to the rainbow layer, and I select its mask. Okay, so I added this here to selection. I went to our rainbow's mask. Now I need to select my brush tool, and also I need to select black color. And when we have it, I can start deleting the rainbow from the hair part. So as you can see, if you look, if I draw, see what's going to happen. Boom, I'm bringing back the hair, and I'm deleting the rainbow where it's not supposed to be. Just there are some things that I don't like, for example this one here, and for that I can I need to show rainbow here, so that's why I can just change the color to white, as you can see here, and I can just draw on this place here in order to make sure that I actually see the rainbows there. Boom, as you can see, I'm deleting it step by step and bringing back the rainbow to the places that I want them. This is what I was talking about. As you can see, now we can see the separate hairs one by one, and we can also see the rainbow behind them. If you came this far, then you're my hero. You're everyone's hero. I'm gonna build a statue for you, or maybe not. And as you can see, I just go on and I add the rainbow where I think it should be added to. Now we need to select our rainbow. As you can see, now I select not the mask but the rainbow. As you can see, it's selected now, and I need to go to filter. I need to go to blur, and I need to go just a motion blur. And as the motion blur helps us to add some blur in motion. Good job, I explained it so perfectly, right? Motion blur adds blur in motion. I'm so good at explaining stuff. So here we have our angle, and here we have distance. So basically you can change the angle of how you want the blur to look, and also you can change the distance, which basically means how strong the blur is going to be. So if you just look at it, as you can see, I'm changing the distance. I'm also changing the angle, and it's getting blurry. And now I am satisfied with how it looks, and I just click OK. Good. Now I go to filter, I go to blur, and I go to Gaussian blur. I want to add some Gaussian blur as well because that are two different types of blurs. As you can see, I also have here preview, so I can actually see what's actually happening here. 8, and I click OK. Then go to filter, noise, and add noise. Also make sure that you have selected the right noise type here. For example, as you can see, I have Gaussian and monochromatic. And noise just adds this kind of, as you can see, dots here, which actually makes it look really noisy and beautiful at the same time. So now I need to change the blending modes. For that I need to go to normal, and I'm just gonna switch between the blending modes and see which one I like the most. Again, nope, not this one for sure. Lighten and screen actually looks really good. I'm gonna stop on screen, and I'm gonna create a copy of this rectangle here. So you can just hold Alt or Option. So as you can see, now I have 2 copies of the same rectangle, and I did that so actually the effect looks stronger. Both of them are on screen, and it just looks stronger than if I would have only one rectangle here. So now I'm going to the shape, and I want to make this shape a little bit different. So I want to make some parts darker, some parts lighter, and that's why I changed to gradient, and I just choose any gradient that we have there. And now we need to change the color, so I want to make it darker. As you can see, I select, for example, first of all I select this color here. In order to select it, you can just click twice to edit the color. I click twice and then I click on her face in order to select her skin color. So as you can, I'm editing the color, I click OK, and I need to do the same to the second color as well. I also select something from her skin and I make it darker. Boom. So as you can see, this part is lighter, this part is darker. And that's why it makes it look more realistic. And you can just copy this color code from here in order to have the exact colors that I have in my work. So now I need to edit the colors of the whole image. Guys, we're almost done. You can't imagine how tired I am from talking so much. I didn't even have breakfast. I woke up and I started shooting this for you. At least make sure to leave a like or a comment. Then I go to filter and I go to camera raw filter. Boom. And here we're just gonna go through some color grading process. So I'm making the tint a little bit violet. I'm making temperature more yellow. Oh no, contrast less. And you can just look at the screen and see what I'm doing there right now. Highlights. So I'm just experimenting, looking whether should I add this or I should not add this. That's how all of my artworks go. So I just experiment to see what should I do, what shouldn't I do, and so on. And you can just copy the same numbers that I have on my screen in order to have the same color effect. A little bit of dehaze, or maybe not, or maybe yes. And vibrance a little bit more, so it looks nice. Now we go to HSL adjustments. This helps us to change the tone of the colors. For example, I can make reds more orange, or I can make reds more pink. And that's why, as you can see, I can experiment. I make them a little bit pink. I also can make the same to oranges. I can make them more red or more yellow than yellows. And we just go through every color, seeing whether should I actually change it or not. As you can see, quite often I just leave it back to 0, so I think it's not good. And then we do that, we just need to click OK, and boom, look at that, how beautiful, just like you and me. I mean, my hair looks so good today. I don't know why, I just look beautiful today. So now I just need to add a color balance adjustment layer. So that's why I go to adjustment and I choose color balance, and you have to make sure it's located on the top, so it's the most top layer. And then we're just gonna change the color. So before we change the colors only for the image, and now we're gonna change the colors for the whole artwork, so for the rainbow, for the things that are inside, and so on. And here you can just see that how I'm changing. So for example, I'm looking first at science, at cyan color, not at science. And magenta a little bit, yellow, now we need to go to the tone, and we need to go from mid-tones to shadow. Yeah, and now we just change a little bit the color of the shadows. So before we were working only on the mid-tones, now we're also changing the shadows tone. Now we go to highlights and change it a little bit as well. So now I create a new empty layer, and then I go here, and here see what I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna go click right and choose blur tool. And you're probably thinking, okay, he's gonna use the blur tool to blur out stuff. Yes and no. So have a look here. First of all, make sure you have your sample layer selected. Strength is around 50%, mode is normal. And now also make sure that your layer is located above the image but below the rainbow, the color balance, and everything else. Okay, strength we make 100%. And now if I start coloring, as you can see, it's going to blur the image, but it's also going to add this kind of beautiful red color. Why is this happening? Well, this is happening because we have here color balance layer. Because we have here the color balance layer, when it's actually blurring the image, it's also adding something from the color. That's why it's actually mixing the two, and we get this beautiful shiny red. And as you can see, I start coloring. Okay, I go back and I start again. So now I just want to add some reds to the left and right part. So again, I mean, as you can see, there's so much in Photoshop that you still don't know, even if you are a professional. Because as you can see, you would never think that blur tool can do something like that. You would think, okay, blur tool is for blurring. No, there are many tools in Photoshop that you can use in many different ways, and all of that I always show on my own website, learnfromfred.com, where I have premium classes and you can join them and learn so much. As you can see, I'm also adding some red to the hair. Oh my god, this is so good. So now what I want to do here is I actually want to change the color of this shape that's inside. I don't like it. It doesn't really fit everything else. So I select this shape here, and then I make sure I select this tool here, because if I don't select it, I won't see the fill and stroke. So I have to select some kind of vector tool. It can be pen tool, it can be rectangle tool, or it can be this arrow here. When I select it, I'm gonna see this bar here, and I can click fill, and then I just need to change the gradient colors. I need to change them from brown to more pink, and the same goes to the darker color. I need to make it dark pink. I change it again. I'm always changing everything because I want to do it better. And I change the color of the darker part as well. Okay, now it's much better. And boom, guys. Congratulations, you made it. I am so tired. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I need something, have breakfast. And I wish you all have a good day. And I wish you all the best. And see you on one of my next lessons. Make sure you click on this bell icon so you get notified when I release new artworks. See you. Bye bye. Goodbye, my little magicians. Bye.